Welcome back to a very special episode 300 of the Guide and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about guide, guns, and responsible Christian gun owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about our 300th episode.
300.
That's amazing. 300. It's been slowly creeping up on us for some time now. Well, think of bandwidth sponsors. Primary Arms is a new sponsor of Guide and Guns. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms with over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands. Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service backed by fast shipping and expert support team. We want to thank them, and if you've not checked those guys out, they have a bunch of stuff, don't they, Doug?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, we're waiting for some of our T&E test and evaluation products to come in. So once those come in, we'll start letting you know more about their products. I know several of the people that we've known in the past really love Primary Arms scopes and red dots and things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting the gear and testing it out, but we appreciate them supporting the show. I also want to thank the Firearms Radio Network. We want to thank them for putting our data out there for you all to listen to, and all the different content creators over there. If you've not checked out other shows on Firearms Radio Network, please do. They have been they were the genesis of this show that Jake started it, and then Mike and Zach created Guide and Guns over 7 years ago. Well, I guess right at 7.5 years ago, 7 years. Couple months ago. Also, our new sponsor. Doug, you want to take it away?
Sure. One of our new sponsors is Patriot Patch Company, and Jake was good enough to send Troy a goodie package this week. I got a package in the mail, and
yep.
When he's like, "What'd you order?" I'm like, "Nothing. I swear, I haven't ordered anything." But got some cool stuff. If you have not checked out Patriot Patch Company, it's not just the patches and stuff that we show you. They have all kind of neat stuff.
Yep.
Check out this. It's a metal tin that you can hang up wherever you want. It's got a plastic sleeve on it right now, so that's why you're getting a little shine. But it's the gun safety rules. Got all four of them there. You can hang it up at a range or in your bedroom to keep you occupied, so you know. So that was pretty cool. So I got that one and one other thing. That was on a metal tin like that. Also, check this out. If you don't have one of these, this is a cleaning mat, and I got to remember which way I got to turn it here so you can see it on the camera. But Patriot patch up in the corner over here, and then it's got an AR-15 with all the components. So if you've never taken one apart and you want to know how, hey, there it is right there. So it's a nice cleaning mat. I got that one and got one that's got you got your AK one, right? You got your AK one there with you?
Yeah. There's an AK one.
Got an AK one. I don't have an AK anymore. And
these things are huge. I mean, they're the length of your gun.
They are.
There you go. You can see it.
Lay your gun on there while you're cleaning. Also got a
got the exploded view on it, so you can see all the components, how to put it back together again.
Exactly, how to put it back together, how to take it apart, what the parts are. So
yeah,
pretty cool stuff. It's they got a lot of neat stuff out there. So if you have not checked out Patriot Patch Company, please do so, and I'm sure you'll find something out you like, because like I said, we got a bunch of patches and stuff. I think we're going to be doing a little bit of giveaway stuff and sharing a few of the things that they have given us.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of bags of patches and stickers. So I noticed the first person that shared the show today, and he's going to get a patch and a sticker if I got one to go along with it. And we're going to send that out today. And anybody else that shares it and is the first one to share it after 9:07 in the Eastern time, our show link, we will send out a patch to you as well.
Can't beat that deal.
Yep. I mean, they got all kinds of cool stuff. They got another plate here that, if I can get to it, I try to put everything there where I could get a hold of it without taking myself off the network. You guys know that we sell these patches. Well, Jake has got these as a metal wall tin to hang up in your gun room or your man cave. He that hath no sword, let him sell his cloak and buy one. Luke 22:36, as we quote that quite often here. But that is a metal plate that you can mount on the wall, metal sign. And they, of course, they also have that in a gun rug as well, so you can clean your guns on one of those as well. So check those guys out. Well, that's enough plugs for now. So let's roll on. What you been up to this week in God and Guns, Doug?
So on the God side, Sportsman's Daily Devotional, Hospital Devotional, I had every intention of going to church Sunday, and I wound up helping my daughter on painting all weekend. So I jumped in on that and got it knocked out for them. We got it done, Sunday evening late, finally, and cleaned up and everything back on. But man, they tried to work me to death. me and Dylan, I went in and helped do some sheetrock work around their wall. For anybody that's ever done it, the house they bought, the people had decided they didn't like the popcorn ceiling, so they scraped it all off.
Yeah.
They wanted slick ceilings. Well, the reason they popcorn a ceiling is so they don't have to slick a ceiling out.
Yeah.
It's not completely done underneath it. So, I went in and I patched the ceiling, made nice corners where the ceiling touches the wall, and we got everything patched up nice and pretty, and then painted. So me and Dylan got 2 rooms rolled, and then him and Taylor started rolling the rest of it while I cut in, which I can do it, and I'm good at it. I just don't like it because it's so tedious and
meticulous. You do freehand, or you hold the edge up?
No, I freehand it.
You freehand it?
Yeah.
Got a good brush, you can do that.
Yep. So you get you a good brush, you can start freehanding and rock on, and it helps when you got a nice edge that you can follow down. So it's not professional grade, but it looked pretty good. So that's what I did over the weekend. What else did I do? I did put a new topper on my truck. So I finally decided I did not go with the camper shell this time. I'm going to see how I like it. I have one of the undercover hinged hard covers that goes on it, which is pretty nice. You can get up on it, stand on it, walk on it, whatever you want to do. And I got out there last night. I noticed when I got it put on, it was not exactly. It was kind of cocked just a little bit to the side. And I don't know why that bothers me so bad, but I am so OCD when it comes to that. So I'm out there by myself last night trying to redo this top to get it straight and get it set. And I got it. It took me longer than it should have, but I don't know, dude. I just can't. I don't know about you, but I just cannot stand seeing something that's not even the way it should be, and it just drives me nuts. But haven't done any hunting this week at all. I have stopped by Academy a few days on ammo day to see if I could find anything. And they did have a little bit of ammo, but nothing that I needed. They still got pretty good prices on it. So other than that, just hanging out. What you been up to other than surgery?
Yeah, I had that surgery on Tuesday, and I start favoring my mouth or start talking weird. You guys will know I've had to slow down. I'm pounding teeth together or something. The daily Bible reading, watch sermons. We were going to go to church Sunday, and I was somehow, I forget what it was. We ended up late Saturday night, and I didn't have to serve Sunday, and we were thinking about going to another church, and then I didn't sleep well. I was up and down all night long. I probably got an hour and a half of sleep, and I try to get up to get ready for church, and Krista said, "You're not going anywhere like that," because she'd been up and down all night with me. And so stayed in and found out their pastor resigned Sunday while we weren't there. So
what?
He's stepping down into the month. Don't know where he's going. Don't know. I've had the feeling that he was going to be going for a while because he's sort of been pulling back from everyone. You know how they sort of distance themselves from people and.
Mm-hmm.
and start withdrawing. And he's been visiting his kids up in Louisville quite a bit. Got a new grandbaby, lives up in Louisville. I figure he's probably found a church up there closer to all the kids. That all three of his kids are up there, I think, or two of the three are up there. Um, and he's been absent from church several Sundays, and I thought, well, he's probably preaching somewhere else, or he's looking somewhere else. And I wasn't that surprised when they announced it. I just, he's really good. I really enjoyed him as a pastor. He's really a good teacher. I'd say he's a teaching pastor. If I had to classify him, I think he's very um, well talented in teaching, and so that's why we picked Calvary when we went to Glasgow. We looked around, and he seemed to be very good at teaching. Had a good, solid church. People seemed to be plugged in and working, and so that's why we picked Calvary. And so, we've talked about we might be looking for another church since we've been back up here in LaRue County now for 5 years. Still driving to Glasgow for church. It's 80-mile round trip for us every Sunday, and so I think probably that might make our minds up to go ahead and start looking more earnestly. Not that there's anything wrong with Calvary. It's just it's a good time to transition. Since the pastor's gone, but we love everybody there and love serving there and things like that. So for any of our listeners that are members of Calvary, you guys getting the inside scoop first. But let's see, what else do we have? Got some more ham stuff in. Got in a fan for my FTM 100 home base station because it's going to be setting static in a room, and so I got a cooling fan. If I use it as a repeater, it's going to get pretty warm. It's not really designed as a repeater, so the more you use mobile, if you don't have a lot of air flowing through them, they can get warm. It's got its own fan, but I've got another Yaesu fan to put underneath of it. And I picked up the camera mic. As you know, the FT3, so the FT 400, you can use a camera mic, and it's got a camera on the end of it. And so you can take pictures with it and send it over System Fusion, over Yaesu's System Fusion Digital. And so you can upload pictures to the local page or to your own node, or you can send them to other people. So I'm reading up on how to do all that. It uses the data port. I was thinking it would be plugging in like a regular jack. I just guess I wasn't thinking about how I thought it would plug into a mic jack, but I thought, well, that's not going to work not for digital. So it plugs into the little data port on the side of your. I don't know if you can see it, but the little data port on the side of your FT3s and your. I don't know I guess it would work on the FT2Ds as well, but it's a monochrome, so I don't know if it would probably be a monochrome picture. But I'm really enjoying ham here lately. I've been doing a lot of that. Been on several of the nets, getting to be pretty regular on the net down in Columbia, between Columbia and Campbellsville, and that reaches most of the center part of Kentucky. It has a wide reach. I mean, people are on that net from all the way over all the way over in eastern Kentucky near London, and all the way up to Harrodsburg and Louisville. There's some guys checking in from Louisville. Of course, I'm usually one of the furthest north in Nelson County, and then it goes all the way down to the Tennessee line, and then back over to the west. So it's a pretty good reach for a repeater, but I'm still amazed how I could hit with an HT. But I talked on the Mammoth Cave net, which is Glasgow, Bowling Green, Barron County, edge of Grayson County, I guess it would be, and that area. Talked to them last night too, and so been having fun with that. It's getting warm out. And then of course I had surgery. Mentioned that just right at the beginning. I appreciate you guys praying for me. I didn't know what it was going to be like. I just know he said it was going to be 2 to 3 hours long, and he said it wasn't going to be painful, and he's a liar. But I think all doctors. Oh, it's just feel a pinch. You gonna feel a no, it hurt. Now they tried these best to medicate me, but I think the medication hurt more than the actual procedure. Maybe I got somewhere between the neighborhood of 27 to 30 different pain shots into my jaw, upper and lower on the right side. And so then he proceeded to do water jet blasting and then laser shooting all the bone underneath the teeth and down there with a laser. And they had a big. You ever seen the welder units? They have these big vacuum things. So wherever you're working at with a welder, they have this big suction thing that says, well, they got that for the dentist. They pulls that wrapper next to your mouth. So all that smoke and stuff coming out of your mouth where they're shooting you with the laser, sucking all that. It was an interesting experience. I get to do it all over again next Tuesday. So you guys please pray for that. So the after effects of that is I'm not eating anything solid for quite a long time, and I have to be careful not to jar my teeth, and I can't swish, I can't spit, I can't brush on that side for a week, and it's gonna be a long process. After next week, I mean, right now I can eat on the left side, and if I hold my head this way, but he's hopeful that maybe he'll save my teeth. The prognosis at the beginning was I was going to probably lose 6 to 7 teeth, and then now he's thinking he could save all of them. I'm thinking I'm still going to lose one because one is like, I don't know why it's in there. It just seems like it's not attached to anything. But I appreciate all this prayer. Appreciate all the people checking in on me and lifting me up. I appreciate it a whole lot. And that's enough about me. So. See, Conceal Carry or EDC, Doug, what are you up to?
Let's see. Tonight, I still have Old Faithful. Let me pour out here. Glock 19 with Student of the Gun night vision sights on it, which I love. They work really well, and that's all I got out here with me at the moment. I don't have my knife in my pocket. I took my knife out a little while ago.
Yeah, I got the Microtech SOCOM Elite auto knife, and that's probably my favorite knife. It's really light, really sharp, a nice size, strong, and very durable. And then, of course, I'm carrying the Staccato C, which is loaded, locked, and cocked. A 1911 9mm, made in Texas. That big old bull barrel. Got a fiber optic front sight. I probably ought to get a tritium sight for it, but I haven't really researched around it to find one yet. Love this gun. It's a really excellent shooter, compact, but I'm feeling the need to get a double stack. Put that back in there without shooting myself live on YouTube. Back safely in the Super Tuck Deluxe holster, crossbreed. All right, that's enough of that. Well, you guys a joke tonight?
I do, but before we go to the joke, I just want to say we're having quite the conversation over on YouTube right now. But our buddy Andrew put on here that he is turning 18 in a couple of months.
No, he's not.
He just graduated high school this week, and he's fixed to go off to college, and he will be going and attending Liberty University. So
awesome.
I told him, I said, man, you have grown up way too fast.
I know. My daughter's wanting to go there this fall, or she's working hard to try to get there. Hopefully she can get there this fall. That's one of her goals. She's been looking forward to going to Liberty for a long time, and she's been working hard, saving her money, and she's going to college right now while working 40 hours a week at night. So she's a good, hardworking girl. Hopefully she can get everything where she can go to Liberty, have enough credits to transfer over, and so I can't believe Andrew is old enough to go to college.
I know. And check this out. He said his grandpa has a new High Point carbine for him, and he is excited.
What caliber?
He didn't say which caliber. Andrew, if if you're still hanging there, what caliber did you get? Is it a 9 or 45?
Or 10. They make a 10.
Oh yeah, they do make a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun little guns to shoot. They're not a hammer.
No, well, that's one good. Well, the real regular high points, 9 mil. There you go. The regular high points are they're reliables from what I've heard, but only thing I ever heard about them is that if you're gonna go clean the thing, you're gonna need 17 hands, 14 different tools, and a big basket to catch all the parts when you take it apart. So
Do you have to clean a high point?
I don't know. Cheap enough, you probably just shoot it till it quits working and then buy another one.
He said 9 millimeter. So
9 mil.
I have
Deal.
I have shot the high point carbines, and they are pretty cool.
I shot the 10 millimeter somewhere. It might have been at. Seemed like it was at SHOT Show. I've been 2013, 2014 maybe. Shot somewhere. I can't remember where. Maybe it was one of the other gun shows I went to. But it was a reliable little gun from what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our lame joke of the week.
Lame joke of the week. So, an old pastor was on his deathbed, and he asked a lawyer and an IRS agent to come visit him. When the two arrived in the pastor's room, the pastor asked them to sit on either side of his bed. After a bit, the lawyer asked the reverend, "Why did you ask us here?" The pastor responded, "Jesus died between two thieves, and I wanted to do the same."
Okie dokie.
That's just wrong, ain't it?
That'll do. That'll do. Bible verse of the week coming up here. Staying with oh man, I just smacked my teeth together.
Theme.
Theme of the week, or theme of this episode, the 300. We're going to be coming out of Judges 7. Judges. We're going Old Testament on you tonight.
Oh snap!
The Lord said to Gideon, "The people with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hand, lest Israel boast over me, saying, my own hand has saved me. Now therefore proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whoever is fearful and trembling, let them return home and hurry away from Mount Gilead." And then 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. And the Lord said to Gideon, "The people are still too many. Take them down to the water, and I will test them for you there. And if any one of whom I say to you, this one shall go with you, and anyone whom I say to you, this one shall not go with you, shall not go with you." So he brought the people down to the water, and the Lord said to Gideon, "Everyone who laps the water with his tongue as a dog laps, you shall set by himself. Likewise, everyone who kneels down to drink." And then the number of those who lapped, putting their hands to their mouths, was 300 men. But all the rest of the ones who knelt down to drink the water, and the Lord said to Gideon, "Of the 300 men who lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hand, and let all the others go, every man to his own home." So the people took their provisions in their hands and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man to his tent. But 300 remained, and the camp of Midian was below him in the valley. And that's as far as I'm going to go, because my teeth aren't going to let me go any further. But you can read the rest of the verse, the rest of what's happened after that, in your own Bible, Judges 7, and so you can find that there. And we ended up stopping. What verse do we end up stopping at? I don't know. It doesn't say. That's pretty bad. I don't know what happened to let's turn on the numbers again. Verse 8 is where we ended up. But if you know the Bible story, if you know the story that God handed over, how many was it that they were going up against? It was a whole lot more than they had.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Judges 6, tells the number of the people that was. We got time for that. I can get down to it there. I thought I had it here where I could get to it. It was like 39,000 or something. But God sent 300 people up against all of those thousands and thousands. And why did he do that? Well, he did that so that the people could say that it was them that had won the battle. The 300 that we had the picture up of there, they stood and they fought for a long time, but they lost and they died. Not the ones here with Gideon. Gideon, the ones with Gideon survived and defeated all of their enemies. With God is the one who gave them the battle. But the Thermopolis, those guys stood and fought, but they didn't survive. They were defeated, but they were standing in the gap, as it were. Well, these 300 with Gideon went, and because God was on their side, they actually defeated a greater army and saved their people, and all the people who are afraid and that God didn't want to be there on the battlefield went home. So that is the Bible verses from Judges 7, and you guys can check that out and read the rest of the story at your own leisure. All right, so jumping into the 300th celebration, it doesn't seem like it's that many episodes.
It does not.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long because we're in our 7th year. I remember starting in 2013, and we told the story when Zeke was on us a few weeks back about how it all started, how I got into running guiding guns, and but there was a lot of people that have contributed to the show's success, a lot of people who have been with us since the beginning. We've got listeners on right now, I'm sure, that have been with us since the beginning, since before me, supporting the show. I know that one of the first ones was Doug Schultz. He was the first one to comment tonight.
Yep.
He's been with us throughout the whole thing. And before I even came on, he was a part of it. I know that several other people have been on with us and supported us and sent us money and bought products and called their sponsors and thanked them for having us on all these years. I'd like to thank Jake for keeping me on after Mike and Zach stepped down. And I mean, even now we got Sean who has supported us and helped get us sponsors and things like that. There's a lot of people that supported us. The Talking Lead, Marty and Zeke had both supported me on early on, and Hickok 45 has supported us, and the our buddies down there, 22 Plinkster had been on the show multiple times. We've had lots of guests that come on and got the interest of a lot of people and have supported us over the years. Dustin, what's his last name? I didn't forget his last name. That's horrible. Dustin Ellerman. He's been on the show multiple times. Of course, he was famous from Top Shot. I think he was season 3 winner, maybe. Boy from Texas, had no professional experience, just was a good shot, right? Come on, and won the whole thing. Beat out snipers and everybody else, playing the mind games and all that stuff, if you guys ever remember watching that show. But we've had so many people over the years that have helped out, and we just are appreciative of that. And I've been thinking about my favorite episodes. If you got any favorite episodes you remember going back and doing that just made you happy when you got done with it?
Oh, yeah. Lots of them. One of mine was the boys from Night Crew that came on, and Ronnie shared his testimony about, almost breaking his back. Well, he lost everything from neck down playing football on the first play of the game.
Wow.
And, we've been pretty blessed, man, because we've hit up a lot of folks to come on the show, and I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me no that we've approached and hit. We hear their story one way or the other, or somebody gets in contact with us, and we've had some pretty good folks on. I guess for me getting started, one of the high points for me was, and not the high point carbine, Andrew, sorry, but was getting helping Jeff Axelson when they started the foundation for Matthew after he had gotten killed, and helping them do raffle tickets and selling this and promoting all that good stuff. And I tell you, I still tell the story to this day. When that rifle showed up at my FFL dealer and they told me that I had a gun down there to come pick it up. I'm like, I didn't order no gun. They're like, well, you got a gun down here nonetheless. And I was like, okay. We hadn't seen them. Nope. We didn't know what Jeff was sending us. And man, I still show that thing off all the time. Anybody that wants to hear the story. And Jeff's been on several times on the show.
Yep.
And I don't know. We have a lot of people on.
Yeah. I enjoyed Craig Sawyer.
Yeah, I did too.
I enjoyed having him on talking about his mission. And I miss Ron, man. I mean, we had Ron on multiple times, and people like that you meet, and the number of friends we've made over the years, in just the last 7 years throughout this industry. I mean, we know people that we would have never known outside the show that are presidents and owners and CEOs of these companies that have been very generous with us and sent us nice products to look at and review and try out, like Jeff did. And it's humbling when you sit back and think of all the experiences you got to have just because you decided to step up and talk about God and guns, right?
Right.
I think it's amazing how God works those things out, and how God brings people into your life at just the right time. I'm just amazed how I'll get phone calls and I'll get emails just out of the blue, and someone to come on the show, or for an interview, or for they want to sponsor the show. We weren't hit my teeth. We weren't soliciting it, but yet it still happened. Just God is the provider. God lines up people for us whenever it's time. When somebody feels like they should give us some money to help us with something, that money shows up, and we appreciate it, and we're grateful for it, and we know that God is the source of all that. And so it's just been amazing to me, the response in the industry towards our show. As small as its humble beginnings, it's been growing steadily for 7 years, to the point where we've got thousands of people that are seeing our videos and our podcasts. Just you can't count them, because there's so many different feeds that feeds off of other feeds that so many people are hearing about. There's so many different platforms. It amazes me the reach of this little humble show. These two country boys from Kentucky up here are having, and we give all the honor and glory to God, and we thank all of you guys that are listening for helping us spread the word and spreading our shows and things like that. And we're not getting rich off of none of this stuff. We're getting enough money to help offset some of the costs and things like that. And that's not the purpose of the show. Never was for me. I know it didn't for Doug. We did have a love for the process of supporting the Second Amendment, supporting our rights, standing up for America's values and Christian Judeo type values. The founding of this country being founded on Christian values and Christian biblical the Bible. just that, as we talked about, was it last week or week before last, where the order of our government, the triune head of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, also that the God is our deliverer. Our executive branch, right? He is our judicial branch, and he is our legislative branch, as the scriptures tell us in the Old Testament. That's the framework by which the Republic of the United States was set up on. And so it's just we want to support those things that we know are good and wholesome, and we want to stand against those things which are evil. And you do that through knowing the scripture, and you do that through proclaiming the gospel, the good news that although we are all born convicted and doomed to die uh, and to go to hell because we have that Adam curse upon us, that there's nothing that we can do on our own to save ourselves. Apart from Jesus' sacrifice, there is no hope for us. But because God loved us so much, he sent his only son to be that sacrifice that is the only acceptable sacrifice for our sin and sins that we aren't even aware of. We commit sins, and some of them are obvious. Some of those, like my stupidity during my youth, the things that I've done to dishonor my family and the church. Those things were able to be forgiven because Jesus loved me, even though I was an arrogant, stupid, uh, selfish person that did things that are horrible. That I was able to be forgiven for that, and I was able to ask forgiveness for that, and I was able to have a life beyond that. So, and that hope that we have is in Jesus, and it's not in how good Doug is or how good I am. Our best stuff is useless. Our best works are filthy, disgusting, rotting, stinking rags, as it says in the Bible. So, it just makes me feel humbled that we've gotten this far. And I know there's been times in my life that I'm just like, I can't do another show, and I've got to that burnout spot, But we took a break, and we just took a breather and come back and just keep plugging. And Guy keeps putting people and putting objects and topics and things for us to talk about, like this new, opening doors. And looking forward to this coming range day, coming to spring range day coming up down there in Georgia here pretty soon. Excited about that. Looking forward to that. Just getting to be back with all the people that we've met over the years and become friends with, and in some ways almost like family, because you look forward to seeing them every time you go to the NRA, you go to the SHOT Show, or you go to these range days and things like that.
One thing that comes into mind, and it was kind of funny. Our buddy Steve from up in Tennessee, messaged me yesterday, and it was a cup of tea sitting on a glass, and it was the name of a restaurant, and it said Macon, Georgia. And I was like, dude. So I messaged him, like, are you in Georgia? He said, yeah. He said, I just stopped through. He was going somewhere down in Florida for some training or something, but he's coming back through Saturday or Sunday, he said. I said, man, stop through. I said, come to the house and hang out, and take a break. I'm probably halfway from where he's at to back to Knoxville, but it's cool, the people we meet. I remember the first time we met Steve, that I actually met him, was at an NRA convention, and he was sitting at a table. You and I were sitting with my brother, and there was a couple of people. I think my brother there, and I think my friend Rick was there, me and you, and Steve and his wife were sitting at the table with us, and we were back in the back just getting something to eat because we've been on the floor at the NRA all day. Right. And we were sitting there, and we're just all talking and stuff, and Hickok 45 walks up and starts talking to us. He goes, y'all mind if I sit down with you? And we're like, no, go ahead, man. And we didn't say anything about who he was or anything else. And he just sits down and starts having a conversation with us. Yeah. And I can remember to this day, Steve leans over at me. He's like, dude, that's Hickok 45. I said, I know. Yeah. And he said, this is so cool. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of. But then, not that we were doing that, but the lady that sat down at the table with us that was working in the concession area, she saw a man with a little boy walking through the NRA floor, and she made the comment. She said, that's just so sad to see somebody bring somebody like that to this. Mm-hmm. And me and Troy's head about snapped off at the same time. And I'm like, why is that? And she starts telling us a story. And then Troy and I, we shared with her the philosophy of God and guns, responsible Christian gun ownership. And we were able to talk to her, and I understand why she had issues. Right. Because
She had a testimony of a bad uprising. Yeah.
She did. But when she got up from that table and left, she left with a whole new attitude on guns and thinking about guns that she did not have before.
She had different cultural experience with guns.
She did. And she might have got a little bit of testimony with it too.
Yep.
So, and she did.
Yeah. I mean, but we have to recognize that some people, everything about a gun is scary because it's killed people in their families and it's been used in a criminal element way and things like that. So it was opening for our eyes to hear her story,
right,
and experience, and that's what social media is about. It's about being able to talk about things not in a hateful way, not in an obtuse, my way or the highway kind of thing, but be able to express your thoughts, hear someone else's point of view, consider that, and understand where they're coming from. That's part of this show. I mean, that's so people that are anti-gun can listen to our show and understand we don't see guns as a way to force our will on people. It's a right to protect ourselves. It's a right to hunt. It's a right to defend ourselves from overreaching government, things like that. The whole gamut of what a firearm allows you to do is not wrapped up in the negative aspects of a firearm. But that's what, people will always focus on the most negative aspects. But you could do that about any object, any kind of medicine, drug, vice, sin, vehicle, motorcycle. You can find something negative and try to isolate that to the point where, and that's what has happened. We have people who want to limit everyone else's freedoms and they want to limit everyone else's ability to have things, because they isolate and look at only let the view of the worst aspect of everything be that which we have to put it through that prism. That's the only view that's allowed to be put out there. That everything that we see is valuable is wiped off the board. And I'm under painkillers, guys. So if I'm rambling here, so forgive me. I'm trying to get through the show here, but I appreciate y'all's patience with me, because I have rambled all the way through this thing. Well, anybody else have any favorite shows out there listening live that made any comments about something that you guys enjoyed, something that you like about the show that you'd like to continue on, or things like that? So,
you know what? Another that I think is a funny story is we were in Atlanta at the NRA convention, and we were walking down, and my wife came up for the show this time. She got to go see it because it was in Atlanta, and a couple of my daughters came up, my son-in-laws came up, and we were just walking down one of the aisles at the show and just looking at stuff. And it's funny, my daughter Tiffany was sitting there, and we were walking down through there. Well, somebody put their hand on my shoulder from behind and just stopped me for a second. I turned around, and he looks at me and goes, "Aren't you Doug from God and Guns?" I was like, "I am." And he introduced himself. He said, "I've been listening for a long time." He said, "Do you mind if I get a picture with you, with me and my daughter?" I was like, "Sure." We took a picture and talked for a minute, and they walked off. And I looked over, and my daughter Tiffany's going, I was like,
"You're
a
star."
Yeah. I'm like, "What?" And she's like, she said, "They wanted to take a picture with you." I'm like, "Okay." And she said, "Why?" I was like, I don't know, Tiff. I don't know. And so we headed on down through there. And a few minutes later, my daughter Tara was with me and my son-in-law Matt. And we were walking along, and my daughter Tara just stops. And she looks over and she said, "Dad, those are the guys from that show Sons of Guns that was on Discovery Channel." And I looked, and it was Joe and Charlie standing there. I was like, "Huh." I said, "It is." I said, "You think we should go talk to him?" She's like, "No, I don't want to talk to him." I said, "Come on, let's go talk to him." And I walked up, and as soon as I saw Charlie, I'm like, "Charlie." He's like, "Doug, where you been?" And then she's like, "You know them?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "My daughter wants to take a picture with you guys. That cool?" And they took their picture with her, and she just thought that was just the greatest thing in the world. But like you said a while ago, we have been fortunate to meet some cool guys.
Yeah.
Talk to them, hang out with them, go do different things. And I took my son-in-law Matt after that NRA show on one of the nights. We got invited up to Iraqi Vet 8888's house for a barbecue and a nighttime suppressor shoot. And he got to shoot guns at night, after dark. And, we're shooting 7 mags and 308s and all kind of stuff that were suppressed from the company out in Houston. And all you hear was bing when it hit the plate. And he's like, this is cool. We have done some really cool stuff. God has put a lot of stuff in our path.
Right.
Just like that lady that was at the NRA convention that sat down at the table with us that was working back there. There's no doubt in my mind that God put her in our path at that very moment for us to talk to.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it's and the industry is pretty much a whole, except for that northeastern bunch that is all going bankrupt and getting bought out. Everybody, for the most part, all the tier 2 kind of guys, the guys that are fresh startups and things like that, are just like you and I. They're just regular Joes that are out there trying to make a buck, and they're doing all they can. And I don't like I don't want to take advantage of their generosity and things like that, but we appreciate their openness to come on shows and talk about their stuff. And they're just good people, like everybody else. I mean, most people are trying to do their best and working hard. And this industry is just really kind and gracious. Now there are some, like I said, there's some northeastern guys, the old dogs of the gun world that have pretty much died off. I mean, those guys have gone out of business and been taken over, bought out, and stuff like that, because they weren't people who shot guns. They weren't people of the culture or of the industry that we know. They were just business people and weren't gun people. You'll find that in your big, you go up to I won't name any names, but you go up to some of these big gun manufacturers that, make, $500 million a year kind of stuff. And you try to talk to them, they raise their head up and look over you. They did like, oh, you're beneath me. They're looking at your tag and everything. Well, I don't want to do business with people like that anyway. They don't care about anything but the bottom line. They don't care about what the customers want. They don't talk to the customers, things like that. But the people who are trying to be innovative, the people who are trying to provide a product that people would like to have at a good, reasonable price, that are caring about, customers' values and things like that, and are hunters themselves or shooters themselves, those are guys in the industry that are the best. About probably 90% of the people are really good. 10%, you just let them go off and drink cocktails with their buddies from up northeast, kind of thing. And but as a whole, though, everybody's wanting to support, help each other. Everybody, I don't know of anybody that's down on the, below the, big 5 or 6 manufacturers that, think they're walking demigods. Once you get down to the real people, you'll find that, once you get down to they're just all salt of the earth and love one another, care about one another, want to help each other be successful. And we'll work together to try to get that done. And we'll give you good references and things like that. Always looking for a way to help each other. And so that's what I appreciate. Well, we need to get on through the show here. I didn't see any more comments. I see that Kelly said he'd like to see John Lovell on the show. He might be too cool for us. I don't know. We can reach out to him and see. I have not. I've seen him at some of the industry events, but he's really in a different circle than I am. So I don't know. We could ask him to come on, or maybe he would ask us to come on, but I doubt that.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew also said over on the YouTube side that I'm monitoring. He said when you asked about what shows they like, he said he liked the show on homesteading and prepping.
We do, yeah, we've done a lot on homesteading prepping over the years. We've
Hmm.
had on several authors that I respect, but I mean, I got 4 bookshelves over here to my left that I've read in the last 10 years, I guess. But on prepping and on homesteading and things like that, I'm probably about 90% there, and been working. The biggest thing about prepping is that you're always working on your skills. Uh, Greg said he's going to reach out as well. Good. Y'all plug them, send them our way.
Get them.
We appreciate that. And guys, don't ever think, I mean, I know a lot of you guys have got us contacts and got people to reach out to us because of your contacts, and we appreciate that. We appreciate that immensely. So, speaking of which, I forgot to mention earlier Primary Arms. If you want to find out more about Primary Arms, you can use the email address frn.deals, that's DEALS /PA, frn.deals /PA, and you can find out more about Primary Arms. It helps out the show, it helps out FRN, and you can get stickers and bumper stickers like this, not bumper stickers, but you get stickers and patches like this behind us. We also have some of the Luke 22:36 verses. I had sold these before, but they have those at Patriot Patch as well. We have a Subscribe Star. It's God and Guns all together. GODANDGUNS. If you guys would like to support us through Subscribe Star, we got some new donations this last week. A couple of new people joined in, so we appreciate that. And then you've got the rest of them for the night.
All right. The first one is PowerTac lights. Hey, if you're looking for a bright light for a weapons light, pistol light, headlamp for hunting, or just a light to have in your pocket or in your vehicle, go check our buddies out at PowerTac. They have some great lights, lifetime warranties on them, and you can't go wrong. If you use a promo code God and Guns, they will give you 40% off of the regular price on a light. Now, if they're running a 50% off, they're not going to let us use the God and Guns. But I am trying to work on it so we at least get credit for it for listeners that go out to their site. But hey, drop them an email and tell them if you have one of their lights, which we've sold a lot of lights to them, and I have a lot. I know Troy has some. Yep. But go check our buddies out at powertac.com and use promo code God and Guns and tell them that you appreciate it. Also, Crossbreed holsters. Hey, if you're carrying a gun on your person in your vehicle, or if your wife's got one in her pocketbook, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. Go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Use promo code GNG and get a 10% discount for listening to the show. Also, Axelson Tactical. You've heard Troy and I talk about it, how we met Jeff Axelson and the Axelson family, and they all are super nice folks, and we did a lot to help promote the foundation. And Jeff was good enough to send Troy and I one of the first guns that they did. I think I have serial number 20. You have 21,
I think.
21.
Yep.
But tack driving rifles, man. I mean, they got some nice stuff. Custom ARs, bolt guns if you're into long range shooting, custom pistols, knives, lots of cool stuff. And they have a t-shirt company too that's out there. I think it's called Freedom Circus. But go out and check them out. If you find something you like, use our promo code God and Guns. You get 10% off over there when you find a rifle. And they've been running some pretty good sales too. So go check them out at axelsonusa.com. Also, last but not least, our affiliate link with Palmetto State Armory. We met up with these guys at one of the shoots we attended, and they actually listened to God and Guns. And they're a faith-based Christian organization, and they're just solid dudes. If you're looking for pieces, parts for anything, and you need it, go check them out at Palmetto State. They got all kinds of stuff out there, but we have an affiliate link with them, and you don't get a discount code, but if you find something you like, use our link, and they send a little bit back to us just for you shopping with them. So they support us when you support them. So check them out, PalmettoStateArmory.com.
Good deal. Armed Citizen of the Week, Doug. What happened?
Well, this week, a story comes to us from Pensacola, Florida. A man was forced to defend himself when robbers broke into his home on an early morning of March 4th of 2021. The incident began at around 3 a.m. when intruders cut the power and forced their way into the residence. A man inside the home at the time was alerted to the break-in from the sound of the intruders entering through the screen window at the back door. He got out of bed and retrieved a firearm kept in the bedroom before moving into the hallway to investigate. As a man looked into the hallway, he saw one of the intruders just feet away from his doorway. The intruder shouted at the man, demanding he put his hands up. Instead of retreating, the man stood his ground and shot at the intruder in the dark hallway, prompting all the burglars to flee the scene. Police tracked down all of them in a short time, including one male intruder that suffered a non-fatal gunshot wound. As it turned out, this is where it gets odd. As it turned out, the group of young home intruders included the man's own granddaughter. The group decided to rob the property in order to bail a friend out of jail. Now that's a friend right there. Neither the man or his wife, who was also at home, were hurt in the incident. That came to us from mynbc15.com in Pensacola, Florida.
Wow. That's not as uncommon as you think.
Probably not, but could you imagine, man, you breaking into your grandfather's house and you were the one that got shot by your grandfather?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I wouldn't even know what to do with something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dysfunctional families out there, but kids get wrapped up and get kind of in with the wrong group, and they start needing to feed that drug habit, and they start thinking of somebody that's got something valuable, and a lot of times it's family members.
Yep.
And they might think that they're gone or something, and end up coming in and they're not gone, and so it's a sad world out there. It's a fallen and lost world, and only thing that's going to save it is Jesus. So,
yep.
We don't preach guns; we preach Jesus, but we carry guns.
Yes, we do.
Well, thank you guys for plugging in all the interesting information. If I get my tongue to work with my teeth tonight, we appreciate all the comments. We appreciate you guys supporting us all these years, and for many years to come. I already got some people lined up later in the month. We had a new guy reach out to me on LinkedIn this last week, and so we got a guy scheduled for I think the 21st. For a show, and got some people possibly going to be on next week. So we've got several things coming up. I want to remind you that the time changes and we go forward this Sunday morning. So you need to set your clocks ahead an hour on Saturday, because if not, you're going to be late to church. It's not like the fall where I don't think we need to remind you so that you are actually on time, but
right.
But the springtime, if you want to be there on time, you're going to have to set them clocks for this weekend. If any of you guys out there, ham guys, hit Doug and I up this week about some ideas for a ham net. We need to try to figure out how to get something put together. Maybe have to be a Yeezy System Fusion or a cross platform. If people got jumbo spots or something, may have to go over to DMR. Work something out. I'd like to get some ideas. We got several people in here that are hams now. A lot of you guys have got your license because you got curious about it after Doug and I talked about it all these years. And so we actually have to work this Sunday. So we appreciate you guys out there. We're going to wrap this puppy up. You all have any other comments, throw them in now, and we might see them before we finish up. But send your feedback to Troy at GuyandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us, like us, leave us an iTunes review, like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/Guy and Guns Podcast. Let's see. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Instagram. We've got Wimkin personal account for me and a Guide and Guns page on Wimkin, WIMKIN. We are on Rumble, but some of the videos I've been uploading lately have not been going up. I don't know what's going on with that. If it's probably my fault. We have a MeWe account, which is fairly active. We've got Parlor is up, but it's weird. It won't let me. I can't share anything right now for some reason, and I can't get my badge like I used to have, saying I'm a real person. So I don't know what happened to Parlor since they got taken hostage by Google, but whatever that is. Our website is guidegunspodcast.com. And until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bibles closer.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it very much. We will talk to you all later.
Good night, all.
Night.